Good evening, this is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated, Journato, evening headlines on February 24, 2023. Italy drought exposes walkway on Lake Garda and Venice canals dry up. Sky News, why Venice's famous canals are drying. WION, in pics, Venice is losing its allure as canals run dry. NDTV, watch, Italy faces severe drought alert as Venice canals run dry, Venice's canals begin drying up. Trinity College Dublin to return skulls to Inishbofin. I've spent 20 years covering conflict, from Iraq to Syria, but nothing prepared me for the horrors of Ukraine. The Independent, opinion, in Ukraine, a river of horrors has swelled to a flood. CNN, Natalia Novikova, my family history is full of tragedies caused by Russian rule over centuries. The Week in Wildlife, in pictures, environment. The life and death of Denis Tkach, the first Ukrainian soldier to die in Russian invasion. The Guardian, searching for the first casualty of the war in Ukraine. Forgotten and abandoned, the Black, international students caught up in Ukraine conflict. The Independent, Nigerian students evacuated from Ukraine study online after Russia's invasion. Voice of America, VOA News, how Indian students rescued from Ukraine a year ago are completing degrees. NDTV, lingering war, 2,500 Ukraine returnees drop out of MBBS. Times of India, a year of Russia conflict, war trauma, fear of future haunt Ukraine returned Indian students. Forever chemicals, mean England's waters will miss pollution targets for decades. The Guardian, Belgium has highest levels of PFAS chemical pollution in Europe, study reveals. EURACTIV, forever chemicals found in more than 330 species of wildlife, study. Sky News, what are PFAS, how toxic are they and how do you become exposed? Rail Force One, how Ukraine railways got Joe Biden safely to Kyiv. The Guardian, 20 hours on train, 4 hours in Kyiv, how Ukraine's Rail Force One ferried Joe Biden safely to Kyiv. News 18, train transporting Biden in Ukraine now dubbed Rail Force One. CNN, Ukraine News, bringing Biden to Kyiv a complicated mission. CTV News, train transporting Biden in Ukraine now dubbed Rail Force One. Los Angeles sees first blizzard warning since 1989. BBC, U.S. winter storm, Los Angeles has first blizzard warning in decades. Sky News, California weather, latest, extremely rare blizzard strikes with 8 feet snow forecast in LA mountains. The Independent, Mount Baldy is seeing its worst winter in years for rescues. SFGATE, Los Angeles has first blizzard warning in decades. Experts pinpoint 5 sleep habits that could add years to your life. The Independent, good quality sleep can add years to people's lives, study suggests. The Guardian, good sleeping habits could add 5 years to your life. The Times, these 5 sleep habits could add 5 years to your life, say experts. Fortune, better sleep could improve health and add years to your life, study suggests. The group reminded me I wasn't crazy, unmasking the worst dating offenders. The Guardian, Toronto, Mississauga Facebook group lets women know if they are dating same man. Florida shooting, photographer at the scene says gunman kept shooting at me and describes moment his colleague was killed. Sky News, police say man returned and killed reporter covering random shooting and girl. ITV News, TV journalist Dylan Lyons shot dead while reporting at murder scene in Florida. Sky News, Orlando shootings, police release body cam footage of arrest of suspect Keith Melvin Moses. Ben Wallace rules out sending British Typhoon jets to Ukraine in short term. The Guardian, Boris Johnson calls on UK to break the ice by sending fighter jets to Ukraine, and warns China against historic mistake. Sky News, NATO planes could be given to Ukraine says Ben Wallace as he hits out at Putin's meat grinder for an army. The Scotsman, China making big mistake if it arms Russia, says Boris Johnson. The Times, Johnson urges Sunak to send fighter jets to Ukraine. Tebbutt murder-kidnap, Kenyan freed on appeal after decade in jail. BBC, Tebbutt murder-kidnap, Kenyan freed from prison after long campaign. We owe it to the people of Ukraine to bring Vladimir Putin to trial for war crimes. The Guardian, Ukraine, matter of time before Putin is on trial for war crimes, US envoy says. Sky News, here's why prosecuting Russia for Ukraine's war could make the West vulnerable. Euronews, establish a special tribunal for Ukraine on Russia's crime of aggression. The Hill, People's Court endorses Putin indictment for aggression. Welby calls for just peace between Russia and Ukraine on war anniversary. The Guardian, Justin Welby, Russia must not be crushed in any Ukraine peace deal. The Telegraph, Justin Welby is wrong. Russia should be punished for its war in Ukraine. The Spectator, Justin Welby, deal to end war must not treat Russia like Germany in 1919. Evening Standard, expect Russia to immediately cease hostilities, pull out troops from Ukraine, Bulgarian envoy to News 18. Ukrainian family reunited in Kent stunned by local hospitality. BBC, Ukraine orphans enjoy paradise in Scotland. BBC, what life in Ipswich holds for Ukrainian refugees, 1 year on from war with Russia. Ipswich Star, Ukraine war, opera singer makes Aberystwyth with her home. BBC, it's been so hard the Ukrainian sisters woe spent 12 months away from dad. Weather tracker, record-breaking heat in Australia. India and China abstain from UN vote to demand Russian withdrawal on Ukraine war anniversary. The Independent, Russia-Ukraine war live, Blinken says India on a trajectory away from alignment with Russia, WION. WION, Ukraine war, UN condemns Russian invasion ahead of anniversary. BBC, a tale of two silences, why India *S Ukraine vote abstention in the UN is different from that of China. WION, UN marks 1 year of Ukraine war with vote as Germany and China clash over supply of weapons. Grief and defiance in Kyiv on first anniversary of war in Ukraine. The Guardian, Ukraine war, fighting intensifies as conflict enters second year. Channel 4 News, how Britain has backed Ukraine since the start of Putin's invasion. The Independent, The Standard View, 1 year on, Britain and the West must stand by Ukraine. Evening Standard, how will the war in Ukraine develop during 2023? Our panel look ahead. Tunisia forces arrest senior opposition figure as crackdown escalates. The Guardian, Tunisia arrests key opposition figure as crackdown escalates. Al Jazeera English, Tunisia detains prominent dissidents amid growing crackdown. France 24 English, detained critic of Tunisian president says he was released. Reuters, Tunisia police arrest prominent figures as crackdown continues. Ukraine war, King says Ukraine has suffered unimaginably. BBC, Ukraine president hails nation's year of invincibility 1 year after Russia's invasion, BBC News. BBC News, live, view of Kyiv's Independence Square on first anniversary of Russian invasion of Ukraine. The Independent, Ukraine's Zelensky fights back tears for dead on war anniversary. Reuters, Ukraine marks 1 year of war as UK and allies pledge ongoing support. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.